They call Okinawa a place where time seems to slow down. For visitors, that feeling comes from the soft light over the sea, the neighborhoods where people walk slowly, and the rhythm at the table, where roots, fish, and greens take center stage. Although the island's richness is not limited to food, cuisine offers a privileged lens on how communities build routine, identity, and memory. Among the foods that draw the eye is the purple-fleshed sweet potato, a tuber that, over time, acquired symbolic status locally and inspired recipes that celebrate color and flavor. Okinawa's history is long and complex. For centuries, it was the heart of the Ryukyu Kingdom, a political and cultural entity that circled trade routes between Japan, China, and the islands of Southeast Asia. Those exchanges left traces in the food, exotic ingredients, preservation techniques, and cultivation practices adapted to the subtropical climate. In the 20th century, the island endured dramatic times, including battles that destroyed villages and altered landscapes. Despite that, local culinary culture, forged by necessity and creativity, preserved know-how that passed through generations. Beginning in the 1970s, researchers noticed something striking. Okinawa concentrated an unusually high number of healthy centenarians. Demographic and public health studies identified recurring patterns in lifestyle, a largely plant-based diet, everyday movement woven into daily tasks, strong social networks, and a sense of purpose, the well-known ikigai. These elements, observed together, helped place Okinawa among the so-called blue zones, places that offer clues about longevity and collective well-being. From among the ingredients that mark this tradition, the purple-fleshed sweet potato stands out. Unlike the orange-fleshed sweet potatoes familiar in many kitchens, Okinawa's variety shows flesh that ranges from deep violet to magenta. That tone comes from anthocyanins, natural pigments that also color fruits, such as blueberries and blackberries. Beyond aesthetics, the presence of these pigments gave the tuber both symbolic and practical roles in local cuisine. It appeared in breads, sweets, and festive dishes. And for its texture and natural sweetness, it became valued in preparations that emphasize flavor without excess refined sugar. The purple juice of Okinawa emerges from that tradition, yet it is far more than a mere adaptation. It synthesizes technique, taste, and memory. The cooked potato becomes a creamy base, and the combination with blueberries, apple, and sometimes beet yields a balance of sweetness, acidity, and an earthy undernote. Lemon brightens the ensemble. Ginger, when added, brings a delicate warmth. Coconut water can lend subtle minerality. The result is a drink that is intense in color and complex in aroma, offering an experience beyond mere hydration. Describing the purple juice only in measurements would reduce its dimension. In Okinawa, recipes circulate among families and small communities. Each cook has her variation, a method of roasting the potato that preserves moisture, a way of cutting the apple to release pectin, a trick to balance beet without letting it dominate. There are fluid versions meant to refresh, and denser ones, nearly dessert-like, served in bowls and celebrated at gatherings. At festive moments, the beverage can command attention and spark conversation. The glass becomes a vessel of memory and exchange. On the sensory level, the purple juice delivers a sequence of surprises. The color sets an expectation. Intense violet attracts the eye and primes the palate. The aroma blends earthy and fruity notes. The citrus touch of lemon, when present, cuts through and provides clarity. On the first sip, the texture can be velvety if unstrained, or clear and bright when filtered. In both forms, there is a lingering aromatic quality that evokes oven-roasted roots and ripe fruit, a combination that both comforts and stimulates. If we examine the ingredients more closely, we see why the purple juice works as a composition. The sweet potato supplies complex carbohydrates and fiber, providing body and satiety. The anthocyanins that color its flesh are bioactive compounds that, in laboratory studies, show antioxidant activity and interactions with inflammatory pathways. Blueberries, when added, extend the pigment spectrum and bring fruity acidity. The apple contributes pectin, a soluble fiber that alters texture and enhances the sense of fullness. Beet, when used, lends earthy notes and compounds that enrich the flavor profile. Together, these elements produce a liquid that is both rich in sensation and harmonious in taste. It is essential, however, to separate cultural enthusiasm from ungrounded claims. Science on anthocyanins and phytochemicals has produced evidence from cell models and animal experiments, and there are human studies suggesting modest effects on biological markers. Those results, as promising as they may be, belong to a broader picture in which diet, activity, and life context play the central roles. Thus, the purple juice should be celebrated for its sensory quality and for concentrating local ingredients without absolute promises. Its power lies in the combination of flavor, tradition, and identity. Preparing the purple juice brings together technique and respect for the ingredient. Proper cooking of the potato is crucial. Heat transforms starches, releases sweetness, and makes blending easier. Roasting the potato in a hot oven, about 200–225 degrees Celsius, 400–425 degrees Fahrenheit, produces light caramelization, while steaming preserves moisture. Once cooled, the potato is cut and combined with fresh or thawed blueberries, chopped apple, a little optional beet, and lemon juice. Grated ginger can be added for complexity. Coconut water is recommended for subtle mineral notes. Plain water works fine for a more neutral version. Blending at high speed until homogeneous yields a liquid that may be strained for clarity or kept with fiber for a fuller texture. At the local market, selecting the tuber involves transmitted know-how. Producers indicate ideal harvest times and the best curing practices. Markets reveal seasonal variations in color and texture. This short supply chain between field and kitchen is part of what ensures the purple juice's quality. An ingredient sold fresh at its peak will produce the most vibrant and aromatic drink. Farmers and cooperatives emphasize practices that preserve flavor and varietal integrity, choices that honor soil and culture. The purple juice's spread beyond Okinawa illustrates how regional traditions enter global narratives. Cafes and contemporary Japanese restaurants have added versions of the drink to their menus, and digital recipe channels have reproduced the formula, often with small tweaks. There is, however, a difference between appropriation and recognition. An authentic version keeps the link to Okinawa's land and the care in preparation. In eateries that value origin, the glass often comes with an explanation about the tuber, the preparation method, and local history, practices that help maintain the recipe's cultural anchor. Economically, the renewed interest in the purple sweet potato creates opportunities. Producers who invest in quality and in authentic varieties can add value to their product, and cooperatives organize seasonal markets where purees, preserves, and juices are sold. Raising the glass, one perceives that the purple juice is above all a statement, an expression of attachment to the land, respect for color, and an appreciation for shared memory. It is not a gimmick, but rather a special Okinawan recipe that speaks of place, of those who cultivate it, and of those who pass it on. Taste it with curiosity and let the color tell its own story.
Did you enjoy the video? Subscribe to our channel, Health and Wellness for All, for more tips and information. See you soon.